So, this is Micromages. The story behind this game is super interesting, and I was just given this as a gift from my friend Red Silvers, who also streams sometimes. This is an NES game that was developed in 2019. And not just an NES game, but an NES game that will run real hardware on, like, the smallest chip for the ROM size, like from when the Famicom first launched. The people who did this just were, like, optimization freaks and tried to, like make the biggest game they could in the smallest file size. It's ridiculously tiny. And also a 4-player action game. With a really nice soundtrack. So the other reason it's called Micromages file size is you're tiny. You are plagued to be watching this under the watch of somebody who has been looking at a lot of, like, actual retro game dev and knows way too much trivia. But yeah, so graphics on the NES were these 8x8 tiles as the minimum size of things. Most stuff for characters in particular will, you know, like, combine several of the 8x8 sprites together to make your actual character. People erroneously call that a sprite. But this is actually, you know, no, a sprite and a background pal are as small as they can be, basically, here. And I'm torn between, like, you know, just giving feedback and technical info and playing the game, honestly, but the gameplay is pretty straightforward. It is doing the, you know, auto-scrolling thing. You can shoot in 4 directions. You can wall jump. You have a pretty limited jump height. Oh, got every single thing. There's a 4-player simultaneous thing. It's, again, auto-scrolling. The soundtrack is really great, honestly. But yeah, I know because, like, this is a game that I thought I owned this, actually, with how much I've learned about it over the years. But they were really proud of the fact that they got it down, the file size down so small. And part of that is kind of like, if you've heard about, like, the way the maps made in Metroid, there's a lot of just, like, big chunks that are recycled here and there for the maps. Instead of just, like, time mapping out every single level in detail. And I'm guessing if that's a double jump? Oh, no, it's not. It's a slow fall. Okay. So I kind of go for it. Hit, mouse back out there, okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the fairy does. There's nobody's in the manual, which this game has, because they, like, did the whole NES route. That's very Mega Man 2. So yeah, let's get distracted here as I finish this level up. So yeah, pretty straightforward just from looking at it, but, like, an amazing technical achievement. And the developers of this, like, have gone really into depth about how they made it in various places, where I'm just kind of recalling all this from that I've heard. Ooh. Okay, can barely make that, okay. Definitely designed around the 4-player simultaneous thing. Be a much more chaotic experience for those people, like, you know, being impatient and trying to scroll off top of the screen while you're being greedy and going for all these treasures. I'm unclear what the fairy is all about, as I mentioned. Yeah, I just kind of love that someone just, like, you know, did this in assembly, like, on original hardware, and then, you know, it's easy enough to emulate NES games these days that I'm playing on Steam, but, and, like, it looks really, really nice, too. Like, they didn't really half-assed it at all. Like, those are some really, really good crumbling little blocks there. The soundtrack is excellent. Particularly for being so, like, tiny, the graphics are very nice. And boss fight time. Okay. But yeah, a lot of the appeal here is to do it like properly multiplayer and you gonna have something again? Yeah. Okay. Thought so. Right, it's 2-hit kills, not 1-hit kills. Curious how much HP it has. This is getting down there now. Okay, that much. Oh yeah, I probably have it in one of the various H bundles too. So yeah, I think it's making around to those. We have a password system. We have other tile sets, which is slightly hard to see because, like, again, this was going for. I need to look it up before I move on, like the exact file size that we were going for. It's absurdly tiny. Like, it was like 16 or 32K, something like that. But, like, also, you know, it plays well. Nice, responsive sort of thing. Very much interesting mix of, like, you know, modern, for at least the trends of, like, 2019 design sensibilities with the whole infinite tower climb thing we're going for. And the power-ups being what they are. And then just, like, you know, old school, like, first generation Famicom game restrictions. Okay, there we go. It does lose something, a little bit of something when you're playing it solo like this. You don't have people just like spreading out and, you know, beating for high scores. And well, I guess this is at the top, and I can kind of take my time with it now, isn't it? Oops. Okay. Still know what the fairies do. There's also like running kind of like custom emulator front end thing, clearly. Which is why I was having those configuration issues. I probably could have skipped that in the first place. It was probably fine by default. Most things are. Yeah, the goats are very much as like Mega Man 2 dogs and Woodman stage. And, you know, various other things in other Mega Man games since then, but, you know. fully powered up. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I didn't even notice my lives. Yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to say, so probably wrap it up after the next boss. But like again, I'm really liking this. This is like very well put together game, and as someone who is on the side, you know, like working on my own console, I appreciate other people being kind of weirdos, just like getting into old, you know, highly restricted, working in like machine assembly, early history of the medium games like this. This is like exactly the sort of weirdo I want to like get on board with that when I get farther along with it, you know? Also, it's like a game where like it very much cares about score, but also it doesn't list it on screen anywhere when you're not at the end of the level like this. This one's slightly longer. I'm just gonna like rush to the top here because I'd like to see a second boss, and maybe a third tile set. Okay, ignoring these ghosts and rushing through is a bad idea, it turned out. Also, I love that it has multi-tap support. It's like nothing did back in the day, really. Ignoring enemies, bad idea, turns out. Okay. For that one, I have no choice. Why are they being greedy for that little gem? Like, I don't care what score. Although, like, playing this multiplayer is clearly, like, the main motivational thing. Is just, like... Ignore that. Okay, here's a boss. Oof. Was not prepared for that. Boss 2 is, I guess, Zeus and Donkey Kong Vikings, and I need to pay more attention to those lightning strikes, because you don't have a lot of time to dodge. Okay. We don't have to take those out, but now this is going to be very trivial. Oh, and until I forget to pay attention to the lighting, because then that's my shots. I can do this. But yeah, like, solid game. Cool little thing. I'm glad it exists and is done well. I guess I'm not really in a rush in this one. There's no, like, platforms being destroyed on me, like the last one. Just really pay attention for those. And there's the red. Okay. Those do clearly target you directly, it's not just random. Okay. And I'm not going all the way through, but I'm assuming there's 4 towers in that loops. Or so. But yeah, that's Micro Mages. I like this a lot, actually. Again, very, very simple premise, but like very efficiently made on old hardware. Or like if that had released, back in the day, I would enjoy that on the NES as at least a rental.